Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jaime from Pierce the Veil, and you're listening to 89 FM, a Radio Rock, Brazil, baby.
Fala galera, beleza? Eu sou o Wendell Correia e hoje eu vou conversar com o Jaime, o baixista da banda Pierce the Veil, que vai se apresentar aqui no Brasil na Áudio em São Paulo, dia 9 de abril. Você garante seu ingresso no clubedoingresso.com, trocar ideia com ele sobre isso e também sobre o novo álbum que eles lançaram em fevereiro de 2023, acabou de sair, chamado The Jaws of Life. Trocar ideia com ele sobre isso, mais algumas curiosidades. Tudo com exclusividade para 89, a Rádio Rock. So, you're officially going on tour, Latin America, already rehearsing, working on the set list. What can you talk for us about that?
Yeah, I mean, this is the fun part, you know. We always talk about when we go in the studio, we're working and we're trying to make the best music we can. Um, and that's also fun, but it's a little bit more, you're kind of in your head, you're working. Now is the fun part. We get to pick the songs we want to play, try to figure out, now we have 5 albums now. So um the shows can get a little bit more overall round, very, very different all around. But yeah, we're gonna try to do the biggest show we could possibly put on. And yeah, we've been working the last couple of weeks trying to get everything ready and sort it out. So we're really excited. It's awesome.
I believe that one's hard decision because you can't play all the songs you have.
Yeah, we would love to play all the songs, but that's what makes it cool. You never know when you come to a show, and hopefully we don't take as long as we did coming back there. So hopefully we'll come back, sooner and a lot faster. But yeah, we do the best with what we have. We're not going to make everyone happy, but we try to put on the best show we can, and I think people will be stoked.
Yeah, we hope so. I'll always be the one song that the fans are gonna say, "Oh, I missed that song," but you can play all the songs.
Yeah.
And talking about Brazil, you've been in Brazil. What do you remember about Brazil? Any funny story you can share with us?
Oh man, Brazil. It's been so long. I just remember the people were so nice, and the fans were a little crazy, but like in the best way. They were very excited. And for me, I love what I'm a soccer fan, football. So like that's just a football city, football town. Like they love it, and I kind of have that memory of just watching people on the street wearing their jerseys, and I think it was might have been during World Cup time. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. So but yeah, just the excitement that they all, I mean, all of South America, man, even South America, Mexico, like all those places are just, they have a vibe. It's different than anywhere in the world. And we're really looking forward to going back there, especially because these rooms are getting a little bit bigger. We're really excited to be playing some bigger rooms, and it's going to be a wild time for sure. I have high hopes. I have very high expectations for Brazil. I think it's going to be awesome.
That's great, man. Do you know any teams in Brazil? Do you watch Brazilian soccer?
I'm normally Mexico. I like Mexico. My family's from Mexico and stuff, so I don't really watch a ton. I mean, I know the Brazil like World Cup team. I know, and the amazing players that they've had on that. Um, but yeah, not too much in the like in the like cities. The local professional teams and stuff. Not too much.
That's great. You should watch some games here in
Yeah.
Brazil.
Oh man, you have some of the best players in the world. So yeah.
Yeah. And you have been working with new drummers now, Brad Harry Greaves on studio and Loniel Robson on stage. How has been working with these new drummers?
Yeah, Lonnie has been, I mean, he's been a friend since I think we started touring, even on like Warped Tour. He's toured with so many bands. So we've known him for a really long time. And he also lives like down the street. He's a San Diego guy. He lives here, and his family's here. So yeah, it was just one of those things that kind of worked out. He obviously has been doing a lot of crazy things. He was in Let Live. He tours with Miguel, the artist Miguel, and he's his drummer. So they're playing big stadiums, like on a regular basis. So we kind of reached out to him and was like, hey man, we're looking for somebody to go on tour with, and we know you have this gig right now that's super awesome, but if you want, you can come, help us out a little bit. And he jumped at it. He was so excited. And I think that's just because we've been friends for so long. Like we would have barbecues and stuff, and we would all just hang out, when we were off tour and stuff all the time before he was drumming for us. So we've always just been really close. He's an insane drummer, so that's a plus. and being able to jam with him every night it makes everyone better. So it's a real treat for us to have someone like that.
That's great. As a bass player, it changes a lot when there is another drummer for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I'm a little biased because I play bass, but I think the bass and the drums are really, really important, if not the most important. As far as like the sonic, when you go to a show and you enjoy the band, enjoy the rhythm, and you enjoy the like when they're really tight, it's because the bass and the drummer are like locked in, and then the guitars can kind of do whatever they want on top, and then the vocal obviously has to be, just right. But if you don't have a good bass, a good basis of like good drums and bass, like it kind of falls apart, So we're really lucky to have Lonnie, which makes pretty much everything sound good no matter what, he's awesome.
I'm not a professional musician, but I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And how was the process of writing, recording the new album, The Jaws of Life? I was watching some of your interviews. You were listening a lot, Deftones, Rage Against the Machine, Vico Travel to Seattle. So there's a grunge vibe. Sure. And then after I listened to the album, knowing that there is a grunge vibe because the verse is like more calm and the chorus is heavy and strong. Was that on purpose?
I want to believe it was on. I think a lot of it was just like happy accidents. I think when you start to listen to that kind of music and you're kind of in that mindset, it kind of infiltrates your brain a little bit, so you might be trying to play something and then all of a sudden it kind of sounds, just like we're always kind of like who we are when what we listen to, like, so if you ask me during that time, I was listening to a lot of that stuff, and just kind of getting inspired and realizing why I love those songs so much. When you think of a Deftones song or a Rage song or something, any of that kind of grunge stuff, very simple, there's not a lot of stuff going on. It was like 3 parts and that was like the power of the song. So our style normally is to add a million things and have it technical all the way around. And we tried to challenge ourselves and try not to do that this time around and try to kind of peel stuff back. And that is honestly harder sometimes, to kind of, you feel almost naked when you're trying to show somebody like, it's like, well, this is all we have right now. And it's just like, that's it. But it's like, it's tricky to be powerful and impactful when it's so simple. But I think we try to do our best with what we had. And it kind of opened our heads up a little bit creatively, because we never want to do the same thing over again. We always want to try to do something new. And learn from it. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, then we move on to the next idea, the next part, or the next thing. So we're always trying to get better. So this was just kind of one of those kind of risks we took, and I'm really happy with how it came out. I think it's a cool record for us from when we were making it, like a little snapshot in time.
That's great. And do you have a favorite track on the album?
That's a tough question. Yeah, I have a couple favorite tracks. It just depends because the album's so different. Every song has its own, like Past the Nirvana, that sounds nothing like Emergency Contact. You know what I mean? Those 2 songs are so different. And you could say that with the whole album. So I like the first track on the record. That's probably one of my favorite ones, Death of an Executioner, just because of how that was the hardest song to finish. It took forever. All the songs were done and we just had that one song just sitting there. And it was, at one point it was, 6 minutes long or 7, like super long. Then it was really short. And then we had different versions of the bridge and whatever. So we just couldn't quite wrap our heads around that one. And then finally, because we were running out of time, we kind of just were like, okay, how about we try this? And that's it. And that's what happened. And it turned out awesome. And it ended up being one of my favorite songs. So it's funny how that works.
And talking about this song, The Jaws of Life, because it's also the album title. And the first time you are doing this, getting a song and name the album after a song. Sure. Why and when did you decide to name the album The Jaws of Life? Was the first song that you made for the album?
Actually, no, that was, I think the concept of it for us, we came up with really early on. I think even before the pandemic, we had the title of the album. And obviously during all that time, it kind of grew into something a little bit different, but originally we kind of wanted something strong, and kind of that feeling of kind of getting yourself back up, dusting yourself off, and and having that feeling of like, I can do this, like you can escape from whatever. And it was like a little bit of hope for us, because there was so much stuff going on. we got off tour where a lot of stuff happened during the time we were off. All of us got married. Vic and Danielle, our singer, they had their first child. Like a lot of stuff was going on. So this album was, I think, a culmination of all of that. And obviously the pandemic happened, and that was kind of wild. So just all the thoughts, in your head sitting there, like, are we going to be able to play music again? Are we going to be able to play shows again? That was a scary thing for us, because we were like right in the middle of making the album, right. And then we kind of stopped, but yeah, I think that's what makes the album so special to us, because like I said, it's a snapshot of that time frame that we have it. We don't have to think about it. And it was just like, that's done. We move on, we move forward. And now, like I said, we get to the fun part of playing shows. So that's going to be another full cycle of things going on.
Great, man. And the art cover. Who created the art cover, and what means the art cover?
Oh, the cover, yeah. So we had, originally we weren't going to go so literal with it, because there is, I'm you guys assuming you guys know what the Jaws of Life is, like the machine, what it's used for. It's this machine that, if there's, it's essentially to be able to pry open cars and get you out, if there was like an accident or something. So it's like a hydraulic press that essentially saves people. It saves hundreds of people every day. And we thought that was just such a cool idea, because no one really knows about it. It's such a weird looking device. And our good friend Brandon designed the cover, and we had a photographer kind of take that around. She was from Canada, and she just dragging around this Jaws of Life thing and put it in like a living room and took photos of it and stuff. And we just loved the way it looked. We loved how interesting it looked, how scary it looked. But yeah, it was just kind of a happy accident that we kind of went that route. Like originally we weren't going to go that literal, but we love the artwork that Brandon made and the shots that our photographer, it just kind of it all worked out really well. So yeah, and now that's something that we're kind of basing the whole all the shows around, and the color schemes, and we like everything to tie in together. So it just worked out. That's how it worked out. Yeah.
Is there going to be another video or single that you guys are going to release?
Yeah, we're always thinking about stuff that we're trying to do. And yeah, so I wouldn't put it as of right now. I think we are, but it's going to take some time. We're going to work on some stuff and figure out some stuff. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of new stuff coming up. We're going to have a lot of tours that we're going to announce. We can do some videos and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on. A lot of wheels are turning.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Awesome. 89, a Rádio Rock.